Hello and welcome to Metavice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, at least the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm one of your hosts, Karen.
Join with your other host, Brian.
Brian, what are we talking about today?
So we're going to talk about our trip to Iowa. We went to Cedar Rapids, Iowa to see our friends with Thrash of the Titans.
Yep.
They were playing a show up there at Otis Tailgators.
Yes.
We've known about this show for a while, right? You've seen this?
I think it's been quite a while and we had nothing going on this weekend. So I was like, oh, it's on a Saturday and we have nothing planned. So
I think that really helps. It's a Saturday. It's in that like eastern Iowa area, which we really like. Not quite Iowa City, but whatever. It's Cedar Rapids. Cedar Rapids is cool. Used to go up there. I went up there more than you did. But,
yeah, I only went a few times, yeah.
It's in the area we used to live and sort of run around. So it was really cool to we get to go back to that area and spend time there. It's cool. Let's go make a weekend out of it type thing.
Yep.
But after we found out about that, Breaking Benjamin also announced they were doing a tour.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just happened to be in Cedar Rapids the night before Thrash of the Titans.
Right.
And it's like, well, fuck. I think our plan was that was a Friday night. I think our plan was to drive from Chicago to Cedar Rapids on Friday night, see the show Saturday, drive home on Sunday.
Yes, that's exactly right.
But when Breaking Benjamin announced, we're like, all right, let's just extend our hotel one extra night. We'll go up Thursday night, see Breaking Benjamin, then see Thrash, then come home.
Right, exactly.
Which is awesome. Like, we've done this before with Korn, where you just like things to do in Denver.
Yeah.
And you found 3 Days Grace at Mission Ballroom.
Mission Ballroom, yeah. With Wage War.
With Wage War, right.
Sorry, we have to have an episode every single week that mentions Wage War.
Your all-new favorite band. Or one of.
Yeah. For like 3 years now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay, all right. Anywho, so yeah, we ended up making a weekend out of this, and we saw both Thrash of the Titans and Breaking Benjamin.
Yep.
So we're going to go through the chronological order of how we saw this, which was starting with Breaking Benjamin. We'll go through our normal sort of spiel here. That was at the Alliant Energy Powerhouse.
Right.
Downtown Cedar Rapids.
I feel like that used to be called the U.S. Cellular Center.
Maybe.
Like, I feel like that used to be the name.
Maybe. They used to be the big wireless seller there, right? We used to have them as a cell phone.
Yeah.
I think they basically went under.
Oh, did they?
Or sold out or something.
No.
They were very big, and they sort of stopped being big.
Right, but I have family that's still.
Yeah, sure.
So.
But I mean, they had like stadiums and shit named after them,
okay.
and they sort of like consolidated inwards. I don't understand. I don't remember everything, but I think they even like in St. Louis they were really big, and now they're really not there either. Okay. Anywho, I kind of remember that as well. But this particular time, it's the Alliant Energy Powerhouse, another Midwestern. They're Midwestern, right? Alliant Energy.
Yeah, I think so.
Are they all over the place?
I think it's just like Minnesota. I don't
Midwestern,
know.
like Iowa-ish. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going off on old memories here. Ticket prices for this were $75 with $19.95 in fees. Digital tickets, Live Nation, blah, 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 all that shit. Right downtown, attached to a Hilton hotel, which is the hotel we try to stay at because just pick a fucking hotel chain and stay at one hotel.
Yeah.
They're all basically the same, just that way you get the points and shit. So
yeah, that's what we do.
That was the one we picked. If I can go back, I probably would change it to Marriott, but whatever. It is what it is.
I don't remember why we chose Hilton, but whatever.
I just liked it.
That's what we did.
Anywho, that was sold out, so we didn't stay at that hotel.
Why was it sold out, Brian?
There was like a dance recital bullshit thing going on, like little kids and like tutus and shit running around.
We had some funny stories during Breaking Benjamin's show about that.
Talk about those, yeah.
Like you said, like the venue is connected to the hotel, which is also connected to the parking garage. So there was people that were coming out of the parking garage who were supposed to go to this dance event, which was inside the hotel, but it could have been part of like the powerhouse as well. Like maybe they have a convention center,
different wing or something.
Yeah, I don't know how that all works, but so there was even one point where, so you see all these girls coming in with like, and they're all
the hair's done up, and makeup and everything,
like the dance girls are, and then they have like bags and everything. But then the one that was so funny is we ended up walking around during Daughtry, but an older couple, like grandpa age, like went through the security scanner, and then they were talking to the person about tickets or whatever. And she's like, oh, you want to be at the dance competition that's on the other hall, or, you know, like she basically told him where to get there or whatever. But they had went through the security and everything and got to that point. And I was like, I couldn't even imagine what they were probably thinking. Like when they heard the music and everything, like, I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, It's like hard rock, not necessarily like heavy metal or anything.
So I think we're going to call this episode like Radio Thrash, because this particular night was definitely radio centric, rock and metal-ish.
Yeah.
Rock's a thin line here. Like I really struggle calling, or not rock, metal.
Yeah.
I really struggle calling bands like Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace, Shine Down.
Daughtry.
Yeah, definitely not Daughtry. But Pop Evil also like metal. They're thinning that line of like that radio metal, alternate metal or whatnot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But this is where the radio aspect of, I guess this title is this night of the radio. So I mean, yeah, it may be a little not as bad for these people, but also definitely not what they were expecting to see.
Yeah.
And I thought they said something like, no, we forgot our dancing shoes or something, like when they were walking out or something like that.
Possibly.
And I remember you laughing and being like, that's going to be us in like so many years. Like we saw the openers and we're like, all right, we're tired. We need to go to bed. We'd love to stay for the headliner, but this isn't a matinee show, so we're going to bed.
Yeah. So you were taking it as they were at the show and they were getting ready to leave.
Initially, I did think that. Yeah, but then once you explained it to me, I was like, oh, fuck, that's right. There is like a dance recital going on. Also, though, around that same time, I did see like a couple moms come through with like a tote.
Yeah.
For like the changing costumes, I think. And they're like, no, like the security's like, you're in the wrong spot. You need to go down this hall, take a left, then a right, and then another left, and you'll be where you need. And it's just like funny of like, there's no signage. I don't know where to go. Like this.
Yeah. Well, and the door does come out like right where the security is. So from the parking garage, I mean, and then even from like the hotel hallway. So I mean, I could see how you get confused.
Yeah.
It was just a fun part of the night.
We're kind of jumping all over the place.
We are.
Because I mean, absolutely. Our typical structure for like concert reviews is sort of ticket prices, where it's at, go over who the bands were, and then go through each band and their set list. We're not going to do set lists this night. I did add all of these bands' music to our playlist. So go check that out. It's just whenever we see a live band, we throw their music onto our playlist. But the bands, we've already mentioned Breaking Benjamin and Daughtry. Who was the third band, the first opener?
Catch Your Breath.
Catch Your Breath, which we saw last year with somebody.
We saw last year with Memphis Mayfire and Atreyu.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like we just posted that episode this year, though, like a few weeks ago. Yeah, I think it was one of those extra episodes that we didn't post until I was in Ireland.
That was a co-headlining show. I remember that. That was in the basement of the rave.
Yeah.
The same night of Orbit Culture.
Yeah, maybe we posted it sooner. I can't remember.
And there was a fourth band, too. It was 4 bands for that tour.
Yeah, I don't remember who the first opener was. Go back and look.
Well, we have the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I know.
We have the power.
I should know who it is, but I can't think of who it was. Another Day Dawns.
Right. Okay, so as soon as you told me we saw them, I completely forgot about Another Day Dawns. And that was September of last year, so that was a while ago, really.
Yeah.
At the rave, one of my favorite venues, maybe my favorite venues of all time, really. But when because that was the joke going up through the entire week, because you're like, Catch Your Breath does Dial Tone. And it's like, I've never heard that, and then you play it for me. Because that was a big thing. Like, you know that song the week of going to the show. Yeah. And it was one of those things, like, we would just be walking down the street, and I'd be talking to you, and I don't know. It was one of those things, like, I never listened to you, you never listened to me, and it'd always boil down to, like, well, do you remember Dial Tone? It's like, no, I've never heard that song. I played it for you last night. I'm going to play it for you again. You like Dial Tone, that song?
I did. Yeah, I do like that. I mean, that's the only song really of theirs that I know. I found it, I don't know, a couple years ago on Instagram. Yeah. And I really liked it then, and I listened to it a lot back then. But I mean, it's just one song that I know of theirs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't really know their catalog that well.
But when you did remind me of that, it reminded me of that Memphis Mayfire Atreyu show.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, we did see them. When they took the stage and their lighting was just, I thought it was horrible. The lighting was too. Like, it was so dark, you couldn't see shit on the stage. It was
like backlighting and front lighting, and it was like, and smoky.
Yeah. You couldn't see shit.
Yeah.
And there was a band, it must have been Another Day Dawns, but one of those 4 bands, and it was definitely Another Day Dawns or Catch Your Breath. I can't remember what one, honestly. I'd have to go back and look at photos. But there was one of the bands at that show too that was just crazy fucking dark on stage. Which, cool, you can do that for a small little bit. But also, I'm here to see you perform. I'm here to see the band members. I'm here to see you play and put on a show. When it's this fucking dark and I'm just seeing like a little shadow move around, I don't enjoy that at all. So I was kind of getting bummed and bored at that point. It's not music I really enjoy anyway.
Right.
It's like more of that metalcore shit.
Yeah, I think I would really enjoy if I listened to their music more. I think I'd really enjoy their music. I didn't like the sound of their set during or at this particular show.
You did say that, yeah.
At the rave, it was absolutely perfect and fine. So I think it was definitely at this particular show. And I even said to you as we were walking out to get a beer for you after they got done, I was like, I think I'm done seeing like
arena shows,
like arena shows because the sound sucks.
I remember you saying that, and I remember you bringing up other bands. I can't remember what band, but there was a particular band or show you brought up in the past that you're like, it sounds just like that, where it doesn't sound good.
Well, we saw Metallica in an arena last year. I thought
that's what it was, yeah.
There's other shows that we've seen in arenas that have had really bad sound, but then we've seen shows in arenas that have absolutely great sound, like Ghost. And
so skipping ahead a little bit in this particular show, do you think the sound got better?
Oh yeah, Daughtry? Absolutely. Well, Daughtry, I just couldn't listen to that. I'm sorry, but
so that's what I was gonna say is I didn't notice poor sound during.
But were you listening to it?
I was not. It wasn't my thing. I was enjoying the show. I was enjoying the crowd around us. The crowd was fucking into it. It was really cool to see. When I don't enjoy the band on stage, if the crowd's into it, I'm fucking into it. But if the crowd's like just like me, like this fucking sucks, then it makes the night worse.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
The crowd was into it, which made me enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah, for Daughtry, the sound did sound better. I wasn't into the music, and I couldn't get into the music. I was just like, this isn't my thing.
So, all right, looking at Daughtry, I knew Daughtry was going to be like that. I knew it was going to be that slower sort of rockier sort of sound. It
sounded country to me.
Country rock, for sure. There's definitely country elements. Daughtry had, especially in high school, in like that mid-2000s range, right? Daughtry had a lot of shit on the radio around that time, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I remember hearing a lot of it then, especially on Laser.
It sounded very familiar. I just couldn't put my ear to anything.
Right. So, I mean, back then I didn't have like a CD player or anything in my car, not even a tape deck. I had radio, and it was listen to Laser in Des Moines. If you get close enough to the Iowa City area, fingers crossed, you could get Rock 108, a far superior radio station.
Absolutely.
Than Laser. But Laser's still awesome. Like, if that's all you get, fuck yeah, Laser's awesome. When we drive through Des Moines, we listen to Laser nonstop. When we were in Iowa City in the Cedar Rapids area, it was Rock 108 all the time.
We didn't even listen to, we didn't listen to Spotify. We only listened to Rock 108.
On the way home, we listened to Rock 108 all the way until the radio cuts out.
Yeah.
I love that so much. It brings back so many good memories of listening to the radio. Radio kind of fucking sucks because it's on repeat over and over. You hear we heard fucking like 4 Ozzy songs in one day.
And AC/DC, I think, in one day.
Right. Which goes back to like why I hate Ozzy so much is because the radio overplays the fucking shit way too much. And at that point, it's like, I'm done with Ozzy. Play something heavy. I want some Slipknot. I
did notice that because our Rock 108, it's like the regular radio during the day, but then at night it's like hard drive.
Lou Brutus.
Yeah, with Lou Brutus. And that is so superior to the day radio.
Yeah. But at least they have that on there. And that was the other good thing about Rock 108 is they had Lou Brutus to play. Yeah. Again, we're kind of going off on different tangents. Yeah, we're going all over the place.
This is going to be like everywhere.
I love going back to Iowa because I get to listen to the radio. Rock 108 has a app that we listen to from time to time. We need to do it more often. Yeah. But it's fun just to listen to the radio when you're back home. It brings back so many memories of our youth that you can't get back. Our youth. Yeah. Our youth.
Wasted youth.
All right, Daughtry. Yeah. Back to the show.
Yeah.
So I knew what Daughtry was going to be like. I don't think you knew as much.
No. I think you played one song the weekend before or something.
I think I went through just with Spotify and started at the top most popular songs or whatever Spotify has listed and go like, you know this song, you know this song, you know this song. And you're like, nope. And it's like, if you were in the car and listen to the radio, you'd know it.
Yeah.
But I forgot that they did a cover of World Apart I think that was with Hailstorm, maybe? I'm going to look this up. Oh, yeah. Lizzie Hale. Not Hailstorm, but a cover that they did with Lizzie Hale. It was like the third or fourth track they played. Third track. And I remember before that happening, you just being like, oh, my God, I'm done with this. This is over. But once that started, like the intro to that, you're like, ooh, I like this. And it made me smile because it's like, it's going to get soft real soon. Yeah,
so I was going to say that about their music is a lot of their songs have good like starting beats and then it's just like mellow and his voice starts.
So
and I just can't.
I thought this song was a great song. It's also a cover from Journey.
Oh, really? I don't know Journey music that well.
I love this because I love Tron Legacy, the movie.
Oh, okay.
When Flynn,
isn't it Flynn?
Flynn's the last name. When his son goes into the arcade and turns on the power, this is the song that hits, like starts in those drum beats.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And that's when you're like, ooh, I like this. And it's like, that's going to get slow here real soon. Or slower. God damn it. Which is a great track for that moment of that movie, like the worlds apart, the father and son being worlds apart, literally. But I forgot they did that song. I enjoyed Daughtry's set, although we did miss a good chunk of it.
Well, yeah. So I wanted to kind of walk around the venue because we'd been there 2019, I think.
For Disturbed. This was when we did like that run of like 4 Disturbed shows on the same tour or something.
That Evolution tour. Yeah, we saw 3 on that. Well, so we saw the preview night at the Vic.
The release party.
And then we went to Rosemont, Cedar Rapids, and Milwaukee. So yeah, technically 4. Yeah. But so I kind of wanted to see the venue again. I forgot how teeny tiny it is.
So I noticed that too. I think it was around Daughtry. I was looking around because I was a little bored as well.
Yeah.
I was still enjoying the music. The crowd was still into it, but I was less into it because not really my...
You needed a beer. I needed to go to the restroom.
Sure, yeah. But I do remember looking around and being like, there's only like a 200 level of seating here. Like,
well, and also like nobody was there.
There were a lot of open seats.
Yeah.
But I remember looking around being like, I go to the place out in Rosemont, whatever that is called. We saw Disturbed there. The Allstate? Not Allstate. No, it's Allstate. Allstate Arena. And that's like a 300 level seating. So you have a whole nother tier up there.
Yeah.
And I think that's very tiny. I think even Wells Fargo is bigger in Des Moines than this.
Oh, probably.
And
yeah, definitely than this. Yeah. Than the Alliant Powerhouse, yeah.
But I was looking around like, holy shit, this is tiny.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... It also made me think, there's a lot of times when bands will announce tours and they don't come to Chicago, they don't go to Milwaukee, or they don't go to the casinos in Indiana. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you skipping this area? And they're going all over the other place. And I get pissed that they do that. It's like, how could you fucking skip Chicago? This is bullshit. And I was thinking about it, and Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Iowa doesn't get the number of shows we do here in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. Yeah.
And it made me feel like I'm lucky to live where we live to see the shows we can get to see.
Yeah.
Because if we were in Iowa, we would not be seeing that many shows.
Like even on the advertisements for Cedar Rapids, so it was before the show started. So it was for this venue, and then they have like an amphitheater in Cedar Rapids. So it was advertising both. This was like the only rock show that was coming through the summer that was advertised anyways.
I think there was one more the next night at the Powerhouse, wasn't there? I can't remember what was next, but I thought it was another like
Queensryche.
Queensryche.
Yes, they were there on Sunday. You're right. But other than that, like all summer there was like nothing announced, and I was like, see, this is why when we lived there, we went to absolutely no shows.
I mean, we also had no money.
We had no money, but
that was in that period where we didn't go to see live shows.
Yeah, we didn't. But I think even if something was announced, it wouldn't have been Cedar Rapids.
Yeah. All I was saying is like standing there made me realize like, I need to be less pissed when bands don't come
like go to
Chicago.
The smaller towns.
So it's great that they're going. And I even remember when this was announced, people were like, this is a weird selection of cities you're going to. Because I can't remember everywhere they went, but there was a lot more smaller sort of venues.
But I think that's good. I mean, I think that's good for those areas. Because could you imagine if you lived in what's that town called? Like Champaign, Illinois, or whatever.
Yeah, like Peoria.
Well, not Peoria. Peoria has shows. I'm saying like Champaign or like even Springfield. I don't see really things like that are announced in Springfield, and that's the capital of Illinois. Everything's Chicago.
Yep.
And it's like if you live in those areas, it's like, oh, now I have to travel 3 hours to go see a show.
Yeah, and we bitch when we have to go to Joliet or
I fucking hate going to Joliet or Tinley Park.
Or Indiana, like down to the casinos. Yeah. But really, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. I don't want to leave Chicago.
But like you said, people are traveling 3 hours to see shows. Yeah. So like we actually are very lucky.
Oh, we are. And that's a main thing. Like whenever somebody's like, "Oh, do you want to move out of the city?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." Like everything's here. So why would I move?
So that was the one thing that I really enjoyed about seeing this show, but for sure is like it definitely grounded me and made me a little humble, or maybe I don't know, maybe that's the wrong word.
It made you think about your thought, or like what you've thought before.
Yeah, and like appreciate better.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll never forget that we came from Iowa in the middle of the country that nobody goes to.
Right, and again, I love going back there to see shows because it's so much fun to go back home and just explore.
We need to go to the Valor.
Oh, fuck yes. I haven't been to Valor forever.
I know. They remodeled it, but I can't wait to go back.
Oh, fuck, that'd be so cool. But as you said, for Daughtry, we did end up going up and just sort of wandering around a little bit. That was fun. It was kind of cool to see the venue and the arena, and just as you said, that's when we got to see the moments of like the
older couple.
The older couple leaving.
There was a drunk baby walking through the...
Oh yeah, that baby was fucking wasted. No, he was like a 2-year-old kid just stumbling.
Oh, not 2-year-old. Yeah, probably like just over 1 or something.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, like learning how to walk. Whatever age you are when you learn how to walk.
I assume that was 2. I'm really bad with kids and how they function and how work.
I don't know the exact age, but...
I know you can't shake them. That's a bad thing to do.
Don't do that. And obviously we're joking when we say that he was drunk. He was just learning how to walk, and he's like walking all over the place. And he had the big, huge earmuffs on, and it was so cute.
But his dad was like, he's had way too many. Because he was out in front, like stumbling as he's walking.
Like almost running into people,
Super cute. A bunch of other people saw this kid and was like, oh my God, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and
like, you're the best dad ever.
It is awesome to see kids showing up. Even he's not going to fucking remember this shit. But he's going to see many more fucking shows through the year with his parents, and that's fucking awesome. That's about it for Daughtry that I have. Anything else for you?
The only thing about Daughtry is a very important basketball game started during Daughtry.
Was it during Daughtry?
Yeah, because we were upstairs when I started looking at the score.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was the women's NCAA March Madness sports ball thing championship Final Four game, I think. I think it was the Final Four game.
Yes, Final Four. Yeah, because they ended up losing the last game.
Iowa women Final Four game March Madness, I think, is what I was trying to spout out there with all those words.
Yeah, I don't know what you said, but it's sports balls.
Sports balls, right. So we go back down, find our spots for Breaking Benjamin, hang out
almost
there.
In the same spot that we were when we left. Like,
honestly, yeah.
Nobody really came in. So.
We were, basically the same spot all night. We were moving in and out and whatnot.
Yeah.
In front of us were a couple like college-age women who were watching the game on their phone most of Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah.
I kept looking over their shoulders.
Other people in the video.
Yes. I didn't realize how many other people. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
But I kept looking over their shoulder to see the score, just because, I mean, if Iowa won, my bracket was doing really well.
Oh, okay. There's only a few games that I even care about. This one I did just because Iowa had gotten so far. And then, obviously, the Nebraska-Iowa game after Thanksgiving I care about.
The football game.
And Iowa State. That's the only 3 games that I ever care about.
So I do remember watching, like looking over their shoulder, watching to see what the score was, and following that. You were checking on your phone to follow it. We're watching Breaking Benjamin. Good show.
Yeah.
We've seen this show before, basically with Disturbed.
We saw it with Disturbed, yeah. I kind of enjoyed this a little bit better than Disturbed, honestly.
It was their own headlining set, too, so they can do a lot more cool things with it.
Yeah, and also, we saw them at Tinley Park last time, and we were in the pit, and you were kind of like always looking up at them, and this was kind of, I mean, we were on the floor, but it was more like the stage is high, and you're like looking at them and not necessarily looking like up at them, so I just like the vantage point a lot better too. I mean, they still stood in a line and didn't really move. So
I can't remember if they moved or not. There was definitely a little bit of movement, but not.
Yeah.
It's sort of like I have my spot and that's fine.
Yeah, I shouldn't shit on people who don't perform.
Work the stage.
Yeah, like, I mean, if I was a performer, I would be like, give me a chair. I'm sitting here.
All in all, though, I enjoyed the show a lot. It was toward the end of the set, Iowa finally won.
Yes.
And you could tell who was paying attention because above us to our right, because we were on stage left, there was a woman who like just jumps up and cheers like, yes, Iowa won. And then a bunch of people around us were high-fiving and shit.
Yeah. We should put that video in. We have a video of when Iowa won. Yeah. And just the crowd, like everybody's high-fiving and cheering, and it wasn't for Breaking Benjamin.
But then, as soon as it was over, the women in front of us put their phone away and got right back.
They
were multitasking, doing both.
Yeah. She stopped like watching the game to record some and like.
And there's definitely sports ball teams. I would do the exact same thing. Like if it's the Cubs in the World Series, I have tickets to the show. I'm going to the show, but I am streaming on my phone. I'm bringing a battery pack to make sure I can do this.
I thought it would have been. I mean, obviously. They have people talking in their ear and like the band does and stuff. I thought it would have been really cool after that song was over to be like, Iowa won. Like,
if they would have announced that, I thought it would be really cool to like just play the Iowa Fight song. Afterwards, like the band just like, hold on a second, and then the Iowa Fight song comes on. Yeah. I thought that would be a fucking blast. It didn't happen. We threw the fucking Iowa Fight song into the set list on our playlist on where it would have been.
Yeah, like after that song was over,
Again, that way we can consume this set list or this playlist is just shuffle.
Generally, yeah. Sometimes I like to go back and listen to a show. Do you ever do that?
Very rarely, but I do it. Mostly it's shuffle.
Yeah, for me. I've done it a lot where I'll go back and be like, oh, I want to hear the We Came as Romans show again.
Yep.
And so I start with Brand of Sacrifice, I skip Era, and then I go to We Came as Romans.
But I did throw that in there.
Yeah.
The other cool thing or the other unique thing with Breaking Benjamin, with their set, instead of doing sort of like, we're going to leave the stage and then do an encore.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
Here's the time of the night. We're going to give you free shit.
Yeah.
And they came out and threw picks and shirts and everything into the crowd.
And like they had the cannon things to get them to like the back of the crowd. Yeah.
They tried. I don't think one of them was working, so they just ended up throwing it into the crowd.
Yeah.
Again, those cannon things are kind of fun. I'd love to get on stage and just help somebody with a t-shirt. Yeah.
That was really, I mean, I thought that was really cool at first, but I felt like it went on for a long time.
It did go on for a little bit.
Yeah.
It ended, and they're talking about kids coming with their parents.
Yeah.
The entire show, there was a little kid.
There was two kids on shoulders.
I only saw the one.
No, there was two. Yeah. So like one was like behind us, and the one was off to the side.
Yeah. But when they're throwing the shit out, they're like, "Hey, we just threw a shirt out there. Make sure that little kid in the red shirt gets it," type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever actually got it or not. Hopefully, somebody would hand it up to them. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Found a pick on the ground, ended up giving it to a couple next to us.
Yeah, we already have a Breaking Benjamin pick from the other show that we went to.
Yeah. So. They were much more into it than we were. We were there to enjoy the show, honestly. Yeah. This wasn't our favorite band by any means.
Yeah, and it was, we explained at the beginning of this podcast that it was the add-on show to a trip that we were already doing.
Yeah.
So. But no, it was good, though. I mean, I don't think I will go back and listen to much Daughtry. Maybe I would, and then I would, get more into it, sort of thing. Like if I know the music more. It's definitely a sing-along band.
Yeah.
So if you know the lyrics and stuff, that would be fun. But and Breaking Benjamin's Breaking Benjamin. I like their older stuff more than anything new. But
I mean, for me, Breaking Benjamin's sort of toward the bottom of that grouping of bands. I put in.
Yeah.
So it's in the order of, for me, it's 3 Days Grace, Shinedown, Pop Evil, Breaking Benjamin. All four of those bands are very.
I would probably say almost the same. Yeah. Yeah. I would say almost the same. Or I enjoy going to the shows. It's but it's like I'm here just to be here, sort of thing.
Right.
It's not like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see this band.
It's better than sitting at home.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember at the show telling you the price. We paid $77.50.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Or $75.50 for the show. And you're like, I don't think I would go back and do this again. Are you still in that boat of like, I wouldn't pay that much?
Yeah, I wouldn't pay that. I would see these 3 bands at like Concord or I wouldn't say House of Blues or Aragon for like $50.
$50 is sort of your top tier price for this?
For these bands, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure it's the price of the venue and it's a Live Nation show, so that's why it's higher. And the fee's so high. But
yeah, I think 75 is right around my threshold as well. Like if it's $90, probably like ugh. But we did an encore for 420.
Yeah.
We talked about buying tickets.
April 20th. 420.
Right. And one of those things, like, you don't know the price before going in, and you're sort of doing that countdown. And if I had 7 minutes and I saw that price, if you were working from home that day, I'd run out and say, this is what it is. But if you are working in the office,
you just buy them.
I'm just buying them because, like, I'm going to text you, and I'm not going to get a response because you're in a meeting or some shit. You can't look at your phone because you're a good worker and not paying attention to me. What the fuck? You know tickets are going on sale at 10 a.m. Pay attention to me and what I want and what I need. But nope. Too busy with work. So I just say,
I have to get paid so we can buy tickets.
So then I'm just like, fuck it, I'll just buy the ticket.
Any hoodles, let's get on to
Thrash
of the Titans. The second part of Radio Thrash.
Yeah, the thrash part of the Radio Thrash.
Yeah. I like the name, hopefully.
This was at Otis Tailgators in Cedar Rapids. So just down the road a bit from the Alliant Powerhouse. Ticket prices for this were $3.99.
Free.
$0.
Maybe that's why we went.
No, we would have gone.
No, we would have went anyways. I mean, yeah, we would have supported the band either way.
0 fees and 0 tax.
And you did drink quite a few beers. Well,
I didn't think I drank that much.
Beers. You drank a few beers.
Okay.
I don't think you got charged for all of them. But you only paid like $37.
Yeah, it was cheap beers.
Yeah.
Cheap fucking beers. For
Maybe
sure.
you did drink as much as I thought you did, and they were just like $4.
Compared to Chicago, for sure. Yeah. Cheap motherfucking beers.
Yeah. I don't think you got charged for all of them. I'm going to be honest.
Otis Tailgators, when we were looking that up and driving out there to it, I was like, I fucking know this name. I swear to God I've heard this band. Not a band. I heard this venue before. Where the fuck? It has to be on the radio. Like, it has to be like Rock 108 promoting shows that went there, but I can't remember it. We've definitely never seen a show there.
No.
I think when you brought this up when we were there, we lived in Iowa City for 5 years.
Yeah, 4.5.
North Liberty, Iowa City.
Yeah, 4.5 years. So North Liberty is between Cedar Rapids and Iowa City.
Yeah.
Closer to Iowa City, but.
Lived elsewhere in Iowa before that for a long time. The only show in that vicinity that we saw was a Disturbed show in Waterloo.
We went to the Dresden Dolls.
Oh, we did see the Dresden Dolls in Iowa City.
Yeah.
So, all right, 2 shows.
Yeah. But we didn't ever, like, even when we lived there, we never really looked that way for shows. Like, even small shows. Like, there was some really awesome shows in the early 2000s, or mid-2000s, I should say. Early, mid, whatever the 2000 to 2010 is, at Gabe's in Iowa City, where we saw Thrash of the Titans last time we were in Iowa with them. And
I mean, that's true. When we were living in Grinnell, I think, at that time.
We were.
Because I was still in, like, high school and shit. And I always looked Des Moines, never, like, the Iowa City area.
Yeah, and Gabe's had awesome shows.
Yeah.
That were there. And I was like, this would have been awesome to see. This would have been awesome to see. You know, like, off of their posters that are all over their walls.
Yeah, our first show, outside of the Dresden Dolls, our first show in that area was Disturbed.
In Waterloo.
Then it was in Iowa City, Thrash of the Titans, the first time we saw them. Then Breaking Benjamin. And now Thrash of the Titans again.
Yeah, we saw Disturbed again in Cedar Rapids.
Did we?
Yeah, we went in 2019.
That's the first Disturbed show. That's the first one.
Oh, I was saying the first show over in that area was Waterloo.
Oh, I was counting. I was throwing Waterloo out.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I guess you did
it's
say
like
Waterloo.
An hour north of Cedar Rapids? Okay.
Anywho, the point is, we didn't see many shows over there. And I like the area a lot. I guess I don't know what the point of this is.
Well, I think you were getting to the point of that. I even made the comment, like, I can't believe when we lived here, we didn't see any shows here. And now we live, in Chicago, and we've been back to see multiple shows in that area.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and we do look at the area for shows. Like when things are announced, it's like, oh, is there anything in Iowa City or that side of the state?
That is definitely a place we look. I think when a tour gets announced, it's, are you in Chicago? Are you in Milwaukee? Are you in Iowa?
Yeah.
Like, that's sort of the order we go in.
And then Denver.
And then where else are you going to be? And let's figure it out from there.
Yeah. We need to go other places. We really...
But anyway, back to this show at Otis.
Yeah.
Tailgators. I remember you driving out there for this, where you have it plugged in the GPS and everything. And I used to drive up there every Friday night when we lived in Iowa City area to play Magic the Gathering for the long time. Once I got
into little boy game.
Yeah, adolescence. It's an
adolescent game. Okay.
You
were a man though, playing an adolescent game.
Sure, whatever. Whatever. I'd go up there, play this place called Battle Zone, I think is what it was called.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I remember you driving up there this night. I was like, I'm trying to remember what exit it is. I think it's this exit. And we passed the exit. And I was like, I think so. And I'm looking back. I'm like, it doesn't look familiar, but maybe it's been so long. And then you get off the interstate, and then we're turning right to go to Otis. I'm like, this looks a little more familiar. Eventually, we end up going to dinner and passing where the Magic place used to be. And as it was a lot of fun to be like, holy shit, I used to drive up here every fucking Friday night and sometimes on Saturday to play this fucking card game.
Yeah.
But had never been to Otis up till this point.
Yeah.
We pull into the parking lot for Otis, and the first thing I thought was like, holy shit, this is tiny.
Yeah.
It is.
It's definitely a
fucking small
bar, and like small town bar even, like just where it's like a bar, some tables, and then a stage in the back.
Yeah. Once we got in, it felt a lot larger than it did from the outside.
Yeah. But I would agree there. Yeah.
From the outside, I was like, holy shit, where the fuck are you playing? Like, there's going to be no room.
Yeah.
Once we got in, it's like, oh, this is very spacious, actually.
Yeah. It is spacious, but it's not like we've been to bar venues like Pops in St. Louis or outside of St. Louis, and then like even Beat Kitchen or like Cobra Lounge or something that's like a bar venue, and it's a little bit larger than that. Yeah,
this definitely felt a lot like Pops in Sauget, Illinois, but much, 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 much smaller.
Smaller, yeah.
But it felt the same vibe.
Yeah, I guess because Pops had like the table set up and everything, and then the bar and everything. Yeah, I would agree.
So this venue, as you were saying, had the stage. It's a very long rectangle. At the top of the rectangle is the stage. You have a little open floor area. Behind that, you have another, basically the same area as the floor, but just tabletops, like high top tabletops. And then behind that, you have wider open space, but a big bar that people are hanging up to and whatnot. Iowa bar, just a dive bar in general.
That's not hard to say because like I haven't been to very many dive bars in other countries. Oh my gosh, other states. But I'm just like, it looks like an Iowa bar to me.
Yeah, very divey to me. And I love these kind of bars where it's dirty, but in that good kind of way of like just posters and flags hanging up all over the wall.
Yeah.
You got your like little arcade machines or gambling machines along the wall as well. Nothing is brand new by any means.
Oh no.
But it's been worn in quite a bit. Like you just show up and there's like no pretension or anything. You just show up and you have a good time.
It's definitely a place that has $4 beers.
Yeah, I really liked this venue a lot.
I figured you would when we walked in. So.
But going up to it, I was like, this is fucking small. What the hell are we getting ourselves into?
I kind of laughed when we went up because like I knew that they had been there or that they had already gotten there, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna walk through the back door where it's open where they're loading in. Like I was like, I'm gonna act like I know what I'm doing.
It didn't look like anybody was there, but when you walked through that back door, it's like, oh, there's
like there's people at the bar. Yeah, there's people at the bar and everything, but it didn't look open by any means. And so I was just like, well, I'm gonna walk in, and if anybody says anything, I'm gonna be like, I'm with the band tonight.
Yeah, and again, like I talked about how I thought this venue, I'd heard of it before. There is one in Coralville as well.
Yes, yeah.
In the Iowa City area.
Yeah. So when I first saw Otis, I was like, oh, it's in Coralville. Cool. We'll stay in Iowa City. Like this will be awesome. And then I like looked closer and I'm like, oh, it's in Cedar Rapids, and then I was like, okay, well, I guess I've always had this connotation of Cedar Rapids that when we lived there, I didn't like driving there. I don't know the roads, like all these little things. But when we were there this time, I'm just like, it's Cedar Rapids, it's fine.
Yeah.
So who played with Thrash of the Titans?
I was going to say, we did the same thing again. We just started going all over the place. Thrash of the Titans was our headliner. Next on the bill, we have Dark Agenda. Opening the bill, we have KnuckleHead.
Yeah. No, it was the other way. So it was Dark Agenda, KnuckleHead, then Thrash of the Titans.
Okay. Yeah. I have them wrong on my spreadsheet here.
But that's okay. It doesn't matter. They're all Iowa bands.
They are. I think KnuckleHead and Dark Agenda are both in the Cedar Rapids area.
Oh, okay.
Too. Or maybe not.
I thought one of them's a Des Moines band. Is Dark Agenda a Des Moines band?
The first band, so Dark Agenda would have been a Des Moines band.
Yeah, and then KnuckleHead, I think, is from
the Cedar Rapids.
Okay.
I thought they were both from Cedar Rapids.
They could be. I could be completely wrong.
Both of them sort of an old school metal sort of sound, rock sound to them. I really enjoyed their sets.
I enjoyed Dark Agenda a lot. KnuckleHead, I was not as much into it.
Okay.
And I don't know why. I just wasn't.
And again, KnuckleHead was the second band.
The second band. Okay. Yeah. But Dark Agenda I would go see them, and I mean they played, I guess, with Death Angel, and then they've played with Thrash of the Titans a lot as well.
Okay.
And when they played with Death Angel, I think Eric and Jerry played with Transing during that too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it was Dark Agenda, Transing, Death Angel all on the same set.
On the same bill, yeah.
Okay, that was right after we saw them then.
Yeah, Death Angel was playing here in Chicago, and then like the next Wednesday they played at Lefty's in Des Moines.
Oh, that would have been cool to see.
It would have been cool.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Wednesday in Des Moines. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been so cool. Yeah, no, I liked both bands, Dark Agenda and KnuckleHead. I liked KnuckleHead a little bit more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did.
So we're just a little bit opposite, yeah.
It was more of that like old school rocky metal-y sound to me. I kind of got a little bit of Clutch vibes from it.
Okay, yeah.
Which would explain why you might not like it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Both bands were a lot of fun.
Yeah, the whole night was fun. I'm not saying it wasn't. I was just saying I enjoyed Dark Agenda a little bit better.
No, that's fine. You can.
I mean, obviously, not obviously. I shouldn't say that. But Thrash of the Titans made the night. But Dark Agenda was a good start to the night.
Good start to a 9:00 night for an opening set.
Yes. I'm sorry. Thrash of the Titans, you guys need to start a little earlier.
Yeah, the two great fucking bands. And they were same thing I think I said the first time we saw Thrash of the Titans that I loved was just the community of these musicians and seeing them interact with each other and stick around to hear each other play. And after the set go out to like, that was fucking awesome. You guys are awesome. Like everybody fucking knows everybody at these shows. Yeah. Watching both Dark Agenda and KnuckleHead. Jerry was standing behind me. He's like, these two guys up here, this guy up here, he's a really good singer out of a band out of Des Moines. I can't remember who he said.
Oh, yeah, the guy in the crowd. Yeah.
And, like, motherfuckers from Des Moines are coming 2 hours to see this shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So.
No, I remember that from when we saw him at Gabe's because it was like, oh, so-and-so is here from so-and-so band. You know, like all these people who just come and support everybody. And I really have noticed over the last, I don't know, when did we see them first? Like 2022? 2022, yeah, October 2022. Yep. So it's like I really noticed how even just, not just Des Moines, probably in Iowa in general, but a lot of them are from Des Moines area. But it's like how much they do connect together and everything.
Yeah, and I think it's across the country and just like
I'm
wherever
sure.
you're at. Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah. Like, and I mean, I'm sure it's even with the big bands that are playing arenas and stuff. Like, they're all into that as well.
We saw it on the boat. We saw that at Milwaukee Metal Fest last year.
Oh, yeah.
Of just other bands wandering around the crowd watching other bands play.
Yeah.
Like, they love music.
Yeah.
They love to experience and watch music and see music and learn from other people.
Like, I was just thinking when Malevolence, I think, is who sat next to us during on the boat next to or for Macedon.
Oh, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah. But I was just like they were like so pumped. They're like, I can't wait to see this. Like, like it's awesome to see people just, I mean, we support bands all the time, but it's also awesome to see the bands supporting other bands or just hanging out with their fans and everything.
Which to me is so fucking weird. Like the brewery industry is the same way. I was doing like a volunteer event or like a brewery event or like a tasting thing. And all these breweries are coming and bringing their beer in. And you see like the head brewers talk to each other. It's like, oh, we're trying to do this style, we're trying to do this thing, but we're struggling with. And a competing brewery, or what I would consider a competing brewery, is like, oh, no, we had that same problem. We solved it by doing X, Y, Z. And it's like, but you're helping your competition.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, we're not. Like, if they succeed, we succeed. It's the same thing with these bands where it's like, if this band does good, we do good. Because it doesn't matter who's headlining. It doesn't matter where you are on the set. You're fucking playing music.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly.
I love to see that here. And, like, all night long, just seeing all the bands interact with each other and just hanging out, watching each other. Even when we showed up, I don't know what band it was. They had their trailer pulled up to the back.
I think was that KnuckleHead? No, that was Dark Agenda.
I don't know who.
Yeah, because I remember the drummer was bringing in.
But they went over to Matt and they're like, if you want to use that as like a changing room, by all means.
Oh, the trailer.
Yeah, go out there and change before your set.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? That's fucking rad. That's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, two amazing bands opening for Thrash.
Oh, it's like it was 3 amazing bands for the night.
No, yeah. But 2 amazing bands opening for Thrash the Titans. Great fucking community, great fucking people. We didn't really interact with them, but seeing them interact with other people was fucking awesome.
You mean the other bands?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, we don't talk to people.
No, we don't talk to people. We need to get better at that.
Yeah. Because, like, the drummer for Dark Agenda, like, stood in front of me for all of KnuckleHead.
Oh, yeah, he did,
and I was just like, oh, man, I should, like, say something. But then I was like...
Easy just to tap up and, like, hey, awesome set. But nope, we're going to stand there in silence behind him.
Exactly.
Because that's easier.
Because if I start talking to him, I'll be like, it was good.
Yeah, exactly. So fuck that shit. No. I'll stand there in silence and nod. And like,
Yeah, like, yep, I saw you on stage. Good job.
But then we get Thrash the Titans.
Yep.
The reason we came to Iowa all weekend, everything else on top of this was just, added bonus.
Yeah. I was surprised because, like, I mean, obviously on Facebook and stuff, I'm, saying, like, oh, can't wait to see you guys next weekend or, whatever. And then when we show up, I don't remember if it was Matt or Eric, but they were like, you drove all the way to just see us? And I'm like, yeah, we did. Like, we came here just to see you. So you were saying people came from Des Moines 2 fucking hours to see them. Like, we drove like 4 fucking hours.
I don't know. That's nothing. Like,
I know. I was just.
No, I got you.
I was just saying, like, not that we're better than the people that came from Des Moines, but I'm like, well, we did it, so other people are gonna do it. But,
yeah, I know.
But yeah, like, I mean, I would drive. I mean, we drove to Wisconsin to see them.
So. They were the reason we went to Wisconsin for sure.
Or to Cadet. To Rockfest. Yeah.
Stayed for the whole festival, but we chose that festival because of Thrash the Titans for sure.
Exactly. But I guess we didn't. We have episodes about Thrash the Titans now, 3. This will be our 3rd one, I guess, technically.
At least they are
so the first one, the first one is 3 hours long. It's called Roadie for a Day, and it's about Brian helping them unload and load before and after the show. Basically, he was their box bitch and like moved boxes around. And then we talked about him during the Rockfest episode, and then now. So
3 times, yeah.
But if you haven't heard any of our episodes about them, they are a tribute band to the Big Four.
The Big Four, yeah.
Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, and Metallica.
There you go. You got them.
I was doing it in the order that they play their set.
Oh, so, gotcha.
Yeah.
They've done other shows too where it's just Slayer.
Just Slayer,
only Slayer.
They did like what was that? Headbanger Ball or something like that?
I can't remember, yeah.
Yeah, and they only played Slayer, so.
I remember Eric at the end of the night talking to somebody and like, yeah, check us out next week or 2 weeks or next month. We're going to be back in the area or going to be somewhere doing a Slayer only show type thing. So that's going to be fucking awesome. That would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
As you said, we've seen their show a few times now. Knowing that this started at 9, we were talking to them beforehand. I'd be like, it starts at 9, holy shit. And they're like, yeah, but it's not going to be our normal show. It's going to be a abridged sort of
like
set.
Hour and a half instead of 2.5 hours, yeah.
They still played for a fucking long time.
Oh my gosh, yes. But I think I told you this afterwards. I like how they do their show, for me personally, because they start with Anthrax, and then they play Megadeth, and then they play Slayer, and then they play Metallica.
Yep.
Which is probably in the order of my favorite where it's like Anthrax, least favorite, Megadeth, Slayer, and then Metallica. So to me, it's like a good, like, oh, I know this is coming. I know this is coming. I know this is coming. Where if it ended with Metallica or started with Metallica, I'd be like, okay, like I'm gonna go sit in the car. No, I wouldn't do that. But you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I personally don't like that necessarily.
I know you don't like how they set up the show.
It gives you a structure to your set, and it's my same issue I have with playing albums in full.
Yeah,
is you've now introduced a structure to the set. And that if I know what the structure is, I can now plan out my evening or understand how it's going to end. And I'm disappointed earlier on in the night versus this is our last song of the night, but being disappointed at that point.
I see.
Instead, I'm disappointed halfway through, like, oh shit, we just finished Megadeth. That means we have 2. We're halfway fucking through. Fuck, this night's half over. Or as I would think, this night's almost over. It's basically over at this point. Even though it's halfway, you still have like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that aspect I don't like. I wish there was more melding and mixing involved in terms of like, here's an Anthrax song, here's a Slayer song, here's a Megadeth song, here's an Anthrax song, here's a Metallica song, here's a Megadeth song. Like I would like that a little bit more, but at the same time I also get the structure. I think it was during that first one we were talking about it, where it's like, oh, I understand this. It's 4-4-4-4. Every band gets 4 songs. It's the big 4. Yeah. We're sticking on the 4 number. So I think I like that clicked in my head. Like, oh, that's like I like that more now. But again, adding a structure to it, I don't like when bands add structure.
I know.
When I can figure out what that structure is.
Yeah.
This particular night, it was a shorter set. They only did, I think, 2 Anthrax tracks.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
And then they went into Megadeth after that. And I was like, oh, we're only going to get 2 Megadeth. But no, we got like 4 Megadeth or something. And I think we got 4 Slayer and 4 Metallica. I can't remember exactly.
I can't remember either by the end.
What the set was.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say, when they come out to do Holy Wars for Megadeth.
Yeah.
And Matt's like, they said it couldn't be done. They said it was too hard. Don't even try. I told these guys, fucking do it.
You're going to learn it.
You're going to learn it.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of Randy when he comes out to do Ashes of the Wake.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is my favorite song on the album. Let's play it. And then he leaves the stage and it's an instrumental. And he comes back like, yeah. Do you know why that's my favorite song? I don't have to do a goddamn thing. It reminded me a lot of that. I'd be like, hey, I know the lyrics. You motherfuckers learn how to play this tricky ass shit. Like, you figure it out, not me. That made me smile. Like I got that. Yeah. Like when he said that, it brought back that memory, and it's like, oh, that's fucking awesome. That's funny.
Yeah, it's fun.
Megadeth was awesome. They come out and do Slayer. That was awesome. They come out and do Metallica. That was awesome. One, and maybe the only complaint I have of the entire set is that changeover between Megadeth and Slayer.
Oh, because they take an intermission.
So, again, but the first time we saw them when they had like a whole set, Matt comes out and is like, we're going to take a quick 5-10 minute intermission. We'll be right back on stage because we got 2 more fucking bands left. If you can count to 4. We've done 2. We have 2 more. There's 2 more. Not this time. The drum parts get over for Megadeth, and Greg just gets up without saying a goddamn word, without looking at the other band members, walks off the stage, doesn't talk to a single motherfucker in the crowd, and just walks off. And I was like, if you didn't know what was going on, it's like, this motherfucker's just like, peace. Like, fuck you assholes. I'm done with this shit. Like, there's shit in the band going on. They hate each other. What the fuck is this? Doesn't say a goddamn thing. Matt then also just walks off the stage without saying a fucking thing.
I feel like Matt walked off first, but I know what you're saying.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't? It was Greg
not.
First?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was funny because Matt was still up there and he had to like walk right by Matt and like nudge him on the shoulder or some shit. And then Matt walks off stage and everybody else is just standing there. And Josh, the new bassist, is up there and is like kind of looking around, and he starts diddling around a little bit with the bass and whatnot, which again, I thought that was cool. But during that time, without them saying like, we're going to take a quick intermission. And again, I didn't think they were going to do that because beforehand they said, we're starting late. We're not doing a proper set, our proper normal set.
They're still old men.
I get
they
that.
Need to take a break.
I get that. I do. But it was like just abrupt. Nobody said anything and it was silent.
Yeah.
And Josh is up there sort of like looking around like, what the fuck? And then just starts diddling around, like I said. And then they come back up and bring up the set. That's my only criticism, my only negative aspect of like, it was sort of dead time during that. from a crowd perspective, like, I don't, what the fuck's going on? Is this over? Is this not? Like,
yeah.
you've done 2 of the 4,
like,
so it's not over.
I knew, like, I was like, oh yeah, they take a break, you know, sort of thing. But yeah, I can see, like, if you don't know their structure, if you don't know the band, then yeah, it's like,
yeah,
Greg quit, like, in the middle of the set.
I just thought that was honey, like, boom, up and out, like, fuck this, I'm done. But then they come out and they do Slayer and Metallica, and it was a blast all fucking night.
Yeah. Even though it was like, what, 1:30 when they got to, what time?
It was. They get done, they get back in the crowd, and like, hey, thanks, let's go have a drink. I'm glad to, I want to interact with you people. I want to see you people. And they all left the stage, and people were coming up to him, talking to him. Again, other band members, other fans in the crowd, just up there like, hey, awesome set, you guys are awesome, blah, 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 whatever, you know. It was really, really cool to see. I love it. Yeah, and like even after the show, talking with, I think Otis, like the owner or somebody was talking to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some dude was talking to me. Some big dude was talking to me.
Who was scared of you?
He was scared of me?
He said that, like, he was like, you intimidate me as he walked outside.
No, he intimidates me.
I know. That's what I said.
Like, what the fuck?
That's why I told Darla. I was like, Brian intimidates him. I'm like, he could like just go like this and he would fall over.
Right? Yeah. Holy shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, he intimidated me. But he was talking afterwards, and he's just like, "This was awesome. It's awesome to have everybody here. People don't stick around till the end like they did this night. We need to do this again. This is fucking awesome." And it was a fucking blast.
Yeah. I remember
good crowd, good energy all night long.
I remember talking with Darla before it started, or like before Dark Agenda started, and I was just like, I even said to her, I was like, I wonder how many of these people are going to be here, because I knew like Thrash the Titans wasn't going on until like 11:30, and I was just like, I wonder how many of these people are going to be here. And she's like, yeah, me too. Like, it's definitely a 10 p.m. night crowd, you know, sort of thing, where it's like, okay, let's go, sort of thing. But no, like, there was, I think, more people there for Thrash the Titans than for when Dark Agenda started at 9 p.m.
It was awesome to see.
It was awesome. Yeah.
All 3 bands were great all night long.
Yeah. It's fun to see Iowa bands.
It is. We need to do more of this. We say it all the time.
I know.
Going to these smaller shows.
Yeah.
We're doing more this year
we are,
than we did last year. And we're just going to keep better at it, I think. But we need to go to more of these local, quote-unquote, shows and just find random shit. Because, again, Dark Agenda, KnuckleHead, Thrash the Titans, they're not going to be touring with, like, Breaking Benjamin. But
not yet.
Not yet.
Well, they won't be with Breaking Benjamin for sure.
No,
because
for
that's
sure.
definitely not the music style.
But I would love to see them. And, like, if you want to see them, go. They're going to be doing shows from free to whatever the price is. You can get them at all range. I think when we went to see them in Gabe's, it was like a $20 cover or something.
Yeah, $15 or $20. I can't remember. Yeah.
So, I mean, great fucking music out there all over the place. The one thing I wanted to ask you about before we close out is Thrash of the Titans. And we've seen a few Metallica tribute bands. Notably, Metallica, when they do, or at least last year they did with the M72, I'm assuming they're going to do it this year as well, the sort of city takeover, quote unquote. And they bring other bands with them. One night that we saw was supposed to be 3 tribute bands to Metallica. I think I would prefer to see Thrash of the Titans.
Oh, me too, yeah.
Over all 3 of those.
Yeah, and not just because they're our friends. It's like I like the more diverse music and not necessarily listening to Metallica. I mean, we only saw 2 at that night because one of them just
they couldn't make it for whatever reason.
Yeah, like it was on the bill and then it wasn't on the bill. I don't know what happened. But yeah, I would definitely I like the diversity of the 4 bands over just listening to Metallica music.
I was going to say the same thing, that I know it's not going to happen, but I'd love to see Thrash of the Titans travel around with Metallica.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Doing that sort of like in-between night of like, let's go out there and do that, because they're doing the other 3 of the big 4 and doing it so fucking well.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way when we saw that show as well, where we saw Metallica the night before, we saw Metallica tribute band, followed by Metallica tribute band, with Metallica the very next night, which I love Metallica. They're my favorite band, don't get me wrong. But I want a little bit more diversity in there, guys. Like,
not listening to Metallica 4 nights live.
Let's give us something else. I'm going to hear these songs tomorrow, or I heard those songs last night. Let's hear something I didn't hear, like Megadeth. Like, that would have been fucking awesome. And that, to me, is the one thing that's, like, puts Thrash of the Titans above all the other tribute bands we've seen.
Yeah, I would agree.
is like the diversity and the skill they have to play every fucking thing instead of just here's the first 4 albums of Metallica.
Yeah. Well, and it's also, I think Matt's vocals go into it big too, because he brings in the vocal. So that we said this on other tribute bands where it's like when we saw Damage Justice, I think is the Chicago one, and it's a female lead vocal, which cool, fine. But to me, seeing tribute bands, a lot of it is how much do you actually sound like the band and how much do you like perform like the band sort of thing. And so when like listening to Matt, like I feel like he can change his voice a little bit between like when he sings Megadeth, it sounds like Megadeth or like sounds like
Dave,
but like it has that I can't even explain
raspy.
It. Yeah, like sound to it. And I feel like with Anthrax, he changes his voice a little bit and stuff. So I'm just saying, I think he does a really, really good job to bring in the aspect of the band as well in those vocals.
And we didn't bring this up, like Thrash the Titans is also headlining a tribute festival later this year in Illinois.
Rockford, Illinois?
Rock Island.
Rock Island.
One of those rock something
in August. Somewhere in August. So if you're listening to this.
Yes.
Look it up.
But you were talking about Matt changing his voice. He also is going to be playing in an Alice in Chains tribute band as well.
Yes, at that festival.
We haven't heard him play in that band.
Yeah.
But again, he's doing that. But yeah, I don't know. That'd be an awesome show to see. I think we have something else going on that day as well.
We do, yeah. I can't remember what's going on, but yeah, we can't make it.
So that's too bad.
I know it's closer to us even. So it's like, go to a tribute festival all weekend.
But this whole weekend was a lot of fun. We went there with the intention to see Thrash the Titans only, and whoever they opened with. Their openers were fucking awesome. We saw Breaking Benjamin the night before, which was a good show.
Yeah.
Of the 2 shows, Thrash the Titans for sure.
100% hands down, yeah.
I think you were a little disappointed during Breaking Benjamin, and you're like, I can't get in this. I'm not enjoying this. It's not fun. And I'm like, I'm having fun because I know I'm getting better music tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm just here to be here.
I'm better at seeing shows that I'm not into as much as like 2 years ago. I would have been like, fuck this. Like, I'm ready to go.
If we had drove to Iowa only for this, I would have been more angry, honestly.
Only for Thrash of the Titans?
No, only for
Breaking Benjamin? Yeah, no, I wouldn't have driven there for Breaking Benjamin.
Then I would have been like, fuck, what the hell did we do? Why did we do this?
Yeah, Breaking Benjamin was definitely just an add-on show.
But because I knew Thrash the Titans was the next night, I was like, it's fine. I have my music tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm just enjoying my moment. I'm enjoying my life.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I get to have a lot more fun.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you.
But I was having fun regardless because it was live music and we were there enjoying the moment. So go out. Find live music. It's all over the place. It's fucking awesome.
Yep. Bye.